So apparently these 360 cases had a whole bunch of stuff just shoved in them. And when I noticed them, the cashier was like, yeah, you're in here all the time. You can have those. So. Hello everybody, it is a new week and I have a package from Gamestop because yes, I took advantage of another deal. I had to. A couple things here, and again, I haven't looked in this package so I don't know exactly the condition of everything. But right before the 4th of July deal ended, I decided, you know what, let's do one more buy two get one, a cheap one this time. And then they also had a couple games that were like really cheap. And again, these were Microsoft Xbox One exclusive games, brand new for under $5. And yes, they're on Game Pass, but I figured, you know what, might as well pick them up and add them to my sealed collection to go with my Gears Tactics and Ori. So we're gonna take a look. Again, I have not looked at these, so I don't know their condition. So let's see what we got. This is 4 of the 6 games that I picked up. I also had to get an extra game because the price wasn't right for shipping, and I got a discount on it for some reason. I think there's some sort of used game promo thing. I don't know. Either way, it added up to basically exactly the amount I needed. First game, generic case. Sad day. We have Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360. Let's take a look at this disc. Looks fine. Nice Xbox 360 RPG. Figured I'd add it to the collection. It's $10, so why not? Next one up. All right, we got a complete game. We have Frostpunk on the Xbox One. Apparently this is I don't really know what this is. Is it tactics based? Is it like a city builder? Yeah, it's a city builder. It's rated M, that's interesting. But yeah, I heard good things about this for the most part, so I figured, you know, might as well add it to the collection, especially because it was $10, so cheapo entry. Next game. Neither of these are sealed. That makes me sad because I was hoping these were going to be sealed, but whatever. We have Crackdown 3 on the Xbox One. Yes, I already had this. Yes, it's on Game Pass. This box is cracked too. Like, this is supposed to be a brand new copy. Why is it damaged? That's weird. I might have to contact GameStop about that because this is supposed to be a brand new copy of Crackdown 3. It does not look brand new at all. So we'll see, but yeah, this was $3, I think. So I can play it digitally on Game Pass, but I figure for $3, might as well add it back to the collection. And then the last one, also open, also not sealed, also in, the case is broken. Yeah, I'm definitely going to contact GameStop about this. We have Bleeding Edge on the Xbox One. This was the first game made by Ninja Theory and published by Microsoft. And it's like a 6v6 multiplayer, or sorry, 4v4 multiplayer game. Played a little bit of it. It wasn't bad. Didn't do very well. It was $5, so I figured, you know what, might as well add it to the collection. But I'm definitely going to talk to GameStop customer service because these are supposed to be brand new copies. And like, if you see right here, the case is broken. There's dings all over this thing, so there's nothing on here that makes it look new. It's supposed to be brand new. So I'm going to talk to him about both of those, see if anything can be done. Hopefully it can. Oh, and Tales of Vesperia was free. The other 2 games I paid $10 for, and the one I paid $8 for. So that was the first batch. Mixed bag. Definitely disappointed in the games that are supposed to be new because they certainly do not look new. So we will see what happens. We're probably going to contact GameStop and let them know about that situation later on. Next, I believe, is going to be another package a few days later, and then I have more games coming from this GameStop haul as well. So stay tuned. Alright, package number 2 came in, and as you can see, I've already opened it because I don't need to worry about the condition on these. I knew exactly what condition they were going to come in because they were from Gamefly. So once again, I took advantage of a Gamefly deal that wasn't actually from Gamefly, it was actually from Groupon. So Groupon had a deal where you pay $10 and you get $20 in Gamefly credits. So you essentially get 50% off if you find something in the $20 range. So I, of course, took advantage of it, got the Groupon, perused the Gamefly sale that was going on, and they had some pretty solid titles, but I wanted to go fairly cheap because I didn't want to spend more than the $20 that I had in credit. I ended up picking up 2 games. One was 15 and one was 5. I did have to pay for shipping, so I paid, I think it was like $4 and something cents out of pocket to pay for shipping. But essentially I paid $10 for these 2 games. And one of them is a surprisingly good deal, especially considering how much it's worth, and I will show you that in the final recap for the week. So first off, we have, and I know you're probably gonna laugh at this one, Rocket Arena, the Mythic edition on the Xbox One. Now this game is in every bargain bin you can possibly find. It is a online multiplayer shooter that came out from EA a couple years ago. The whole idea is, oh, everybody gets a rocket launcher. Apparently it just didn't sell. Like, literally places are practically giving this game away, including Gamefly. They had it for $5. I think the only place I've seen for cheaper is, unless you find it for 3 cents at Walmart, is Best Buy had it for like $3 or some ludicrously low number. I missed out on that, unfortunately, but I did pick it up for kind of $5. It was more so just I wanted to use all $20 of credit, and this was one of the only $5 games that I could pick up that I thought might be worth it. Again, because it's from Gamefly, it's in basically new condition. I took off the little seal on the side. Both of the games that I picked up had the little Xbox seal on the side, and then it's got everything that it would have in it if it was brand new. So really, really good shape, Rocket Arena. Might as well add it to the collection, why not? I'll play it someday, maybe. And then this one, and I know, this is not a game that has a good reputation. The original game did, not this one. And I do have the original game, interestingly enough. But I figured, you know what? For that cheap, I might as well pick it up. And if it's bad, I'll play it on my Bad Game series. You have the remake of 13 on the Xbox One. So if you don't know, 13 was a first-person shooter made by Ubisoft in like 2004 on the original Xbox and PS2. And part of what made it stand out from a lot of games is it had this really cool cel-shaded art style that also had like cool comic book feel to it because it's based on a comic book. Everybody loved the art style. The game itself was kind of a standard first-person shooter, but like it had a cool espionage story, and the graphics were really what sold it. They decided to remake the game, and when they remade it, first of all, Ubisoft is not involved, which is kind of interesting. Apparently they licensed out the right to make this remake to Microids and some other developer. They removed or drastically reduced the art style, which I think that was a big mistake, because that's one of the big things that people like about 13 is the art style. They tried to give it kind of a more realistic look. It still has a little bit of cel shading, but it's not as distinct as the original. And the big thing is it is a buggy, broken mess. At least it was at launch. Now, I have heard there have been some updates to the game, so it might actually be pretty good now. That's kind of what I'm hoping. I mean, if it's bad, then I'll gladly play it for bad games, but obviously I'd like it to be good since I just bought it. So yeah, 13, remake on the Xbox One. Apparently this game is also fairly uncommon, and you'll see why when I reveal the price, how much the game is worth. So yeah, 2 brand new pickups from Gamefly. I paid essentially $10 for both of them, and then extra for shipping. But I don't usually include shipping in my final totals because those are just expensive. So shipping and tax, I round. So I essentially paid $10 for these. So pretty happy. It's been a little bit since we went to Simple Pond, so let's go take a look, see if there's any new games that are worth picking up. Let's go. Nothing today. Looks like their game section was basically wiped out. They had a few things that they had the last time I was there, and not much else. A lot less stuff, so oh well, it is what it is, but you know, can't win every day. You know what time it is. It's time to go to Cash America, see what I can find. Let's do it. All right, I got some decent scores. Picked up a few games actually for 17 bucks. Got 2 games specifically to flip, and then I got a handful of other ones. I'm not sure if I'm gonna flip them or not, but we'll see. First off, we got Jedi Fallen Order on the Xbox One. I got paid like $5 for it. It's worth a little more than that in trade-in, so I think it's a solid pickup for the price. Next, we have Forza Horizon 2, which I don't have a physical copy of, but I think it's worth more in trade-in than it would be worth to just keep it. These I'm gonna show off a little bit more later. But I also have Deadpool on the 360, which is a good game. I enjoyed it. I want to get the Xbox One version eventually, but you know, for that, I'll take it. And then we have Splinter Cell Double Agent on the Xbox 360 as well. I have more than that, but I'm going to show you that in a bit. So overall 17 for these and a few extras. So let me head to Value Pond and see what I can find there. This is the site of some of my biggest scores, but also some of my biggest busts. Let's see which it is this time when I head into Value Pond. Let's go. Didn't find anything good in Value Pond. There was a guy who was in there today who I hadn't seen before, and I brought up a nice little bundle of games I was hoping to get for like $5 each. They wanted $8.99 for each one, which that's not worth it, honestly. None of the games I got were worth that, so I passed on all of them. But I did want to show you the extra games that I got from Cash America. So apparently these 360 cases had a whole bunch of stuff just shoved in them, and when I noticed them, the cashier was like, yeah, you're in here all the time, you can have those. So I kind of got them as bonus games, and there are 4 of them, and they're all pretty decent. So for starters, we have Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City on the 360, disc only. I just got this recently for PS3. I know the PS3 version has some decent value. I'm not sure about the Xbox 360 version, but I figured, you know, it's a free game, might as well take a look and see. Worst comes to worst, I'll try to lot it up with a lot of games. Next up, we have Super Street Fighter 4 on the Xbox 360. I believe I have this digitally, so I might try to sell it. We'll see. But, you know, again, it was a free game. This one I already own, and again, if I can get it, if I can sell it for a decent price, I will. We have Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary on the 360. I believe that game actually has some decent value, so we'll see how that goes. Sorry, the music's really loud. And then you're gonna laugh at this one because I didn't notice this one until after I left. This game just follows me, apparently. My 3rd copy of Duck Dynasty, this time on the Xbox 360. So now I have the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Xbox 360 copy of Duck Dynasty. I honestly might try to lot them all together and just sell them as a Duck Dynasty lot. I don't know who would be interested in that, but I think it'd be kind of funny if someone loves Duck Dynasty so much they want 3 copies of the same game on different systems, so who knows. But yeah, so 4 decent bonus discs. We'll see if they're worth anything. I hope they are, because it'd be nice to be able to flip some for a little extra money on top of the stuff I'm trading in and stuff I'm keeping. So overall, I think I got, what? I got 8 games for $17. Not terrible. Pretty happy with it. So here is my disc resurfacer. I'm currently resurfacing one of the disc-only games I got way back in the day. But how it works is there's different pads you can put on this thing. The one that's on there right now are for resurfacing. So if a disc is scratched or has like deep scratches, you can put that pad on there, and it actually like scrapes up the bottom of the disc. And the reason why it does that is it's trying to get rid of the scratches, or at least the impact of the scratches. Here's a disc that I already did it on. As you can see, it's got kind of that swirl pattern. There are some scratches that are still visible, so I'm probably going to run this one more time. But it's a lot better than how it was. But this isn't finished, so what I'm going to do after these discs are resurfaced is then I'm going to clean them. So here's the second disc I just did. This one actually looks a lot better. I had some kind of like circular scratches on it, but those appear to be almost gone. Like you can still see a little bit of residue, but most of it's gone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace the pads. These are the resurfacing pads. These are the cleaning pads. So I'm going to put these on, run this through the cleaner, and it's going to kind of give the disc kind of a protective film, which finishes the resurfacing process. And then by the time that process is done, that like swirling pattern won't be there. I've already done this on a few discs and they look great, they play great, so I'm going to do it on these and get these finished up. But I'm probably going to run this one more time just because there's still a few scratches that look pretty deep. So I think I'm going to run this one more time in the resurfacer and then finish cleaning up these discs. So that's the nice thing is now, even if a disc is like somewhat scratched, but not like destroyed scratched, I still might pick it up because I have the ability to fix it with my resurfacer. So pretty nice stuff. Anyway, back to the episode where I'm mostly opening GameStop and online packages. Okay, time for another mega recap. And the reason why this is a mega recap is because I have a pickup from GameStop as well as my final package of games for this episode from GameStop.com. So let's start by talking about the stuff that I got at GameStop. So originally, my plan was I was going to trade in a few games that I knew had some good value towards my pre-order of Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Originally, I was going to wait until the day of because obviously I want to add more to it and do some more pawn hunting to see if I can get that game for basically free. What I discovered today when I was looking at values, several of the games that I had to trade in, their value shot up, especially Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That game, when I first looked, was only worth like $6. It shot up to like 13. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to wait in case it drops again. So I gathered the stuff that I had, and I did include a couple games I picked up before that I just wasn't attached to. Those, of course, were Saints Row the Third Remastered and the Lego Marvel collection that was disc only. I only paid $5 each for those, and I got more than that. So I went to GameStop and flipped 4 games. Now I brought in 5, but one of them sadly did not trade in, and that was Super Street Fighter 4. And the interesting thing is that regular Street Fighter 4 trades in, and Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition trades in, but not regular Super Street Fighter. No idea why, but I asked if they had any sleeves that I could put the disc in because I didn't want a loose disc rattling around. And they gave me this case for Kinect Adventures. So I have yet another Kinect Adventures case to add to my collection of spare cases, so I'll take it. But yeah, Super Street Fighter I'm keeping. That's okay though, it is what it is. So let's go over the trades that I made. So I traded in Lego Marvel Collection, only paid $5 for that from a pawn shop. It was worth $9.10 in trade-in. After the boost in value plus the bonus, they're still doing a bonus where if you trade your games towards certain pre-orders, you get an extra 20% in addition to your 10% for being a pro member. So Skyward Sword HD is one of those games. So what I've been doing is putting at least $5 down on Skyward Sword HD and then using the rest for whatever I want because it'll boost the credit. So this time, essentially, like originally before I did anything else, I was able to pre-order that game for free just with the bonus credit that I got. And then the rest of the credit I could use for something else, which I did, and I'll talk about that in a second. Next game is Jedi Fallen Order. I paid $5 for it from Cash America, and it was worth $13 in trade-in, so very big bump. Very happy about that trade. Forza Horizon 2, I paid $5 for, it was worth $6.50, so a little bit more than what I paid, but not significantly. It's still better than nothing. And then Saints Row the Third Remastered, I paid $5 for, and it was worth $6.50. So, got $35 in trade-in for those games, which is pretty good. I also happen to have my July $5 reward and a $10 reward. So I originally, again, was going to wait and use them on Skyward Sword HD. But GameStop lately has had a whole bunch of really good sales on their website, mostly for games that came out in the last couple months. I actually placed an order that included a few of them. That's not going to show up in time for this episode, unfortunately. Just got an email that that order got delayed, so I'll include that in next week's, no big deal. But one of the games that was on sale this week, I really wanted to pick up for the price they had it for. They had a copy in store, and along with my $5 reward, my $10 reward, and the trading credit, I was able to get this for free and still have $10 to put on Skyward Sword HD. And that game is Nier Replicant, version 1. I'm not going to read it, on the Xbox One. This is a remake of the original Nier, which was an RPG on the Xbox 360. I believe it's kind of more stylized like Nier Automata, which is the more famous Nier game. Heard it's good. I've been wanting to try to get into the Nier universe, and I figured, well, this is a remake of the first game. It's probably the best way to do it, and it's the only one that has a physical copy on Xbox. So it was on sale for $40 at GameStop, and I paid nothing for it because of promos and trading credit and rewards. So very happy to add this to my collection. And this game is worth $45. So pretty solid to get essentially a $45 game for free. Not bad at all. So that'll be the first game on our little tally of value. So now I'm gonna open up my last package. So this is the last 2 games I picked up from Gamestop.com. I have not checked to see what condition they are in. So let's find out. I know what they are. One of them is for Xbox 360 and one of them is for Xbox One. So we'll start off pretty well. We have XCOM Enemy Within on the Xbox 360. This is the, I guess, standalone expansion to XCOM Enemy Unknown, which is the one that everybody kind of knows on the Xbox 360. The case is completely busted though, like it doesn't lock. It's in good shape, but it doesn't lock, which is kind of weird. But it is complete, and this is the Commander Edition. I don't think that means anything. I paid $10 for this out of pocket for the GameStop deal, and it's worth $13. So solid pickup for a complete copy of that, although I probably should replace the case. And then this one, and what's funny about this one is I bought this game and then like a day or 2 later it became Games with Gold. So I have a digital copy of this game, but now I have a physical copy. I mean, the physical copy is good shape, it's complete. We have Shadows Awakening on the Xbox One. It is a RPG, looks pretty fun, looks interesting. Don't know much about it, but it looked cool and it was cheap. It worked with the promo I was going after. Paid $8 for this because GameStop has a promo where if you buy multiple games that are 20 bucks and under, it will give you a further, I think, 20% off. So I got 20% off of this game and it's worth 12 bucks in physical form. But I have a digital copy, so this one will probably just sit on my shelf for now. So 3 new games to add to the collection. Now let's go over the ones that I already added to the collection earlier this week. We're gonna start off with Gamefly, because those were the first ones that I was able to get. So what I essentially did for this bunch is I paid $10 for a $20 voucher on Groupon. So that gave me $20 in credit that I could use on Gamefly's website. So I picked out a game that was $5 and a game that was $15. Now I did have to pay for shipping, so I paid essentially an extra like $5 for that, give or take. So all in all, I basically paid $5 for each of these games. Obviously, it's a little skewed because one of the games is worth significantly more than the other. But essentially, let's just say I paid $5 for each of these games. First off, we have Rocket Arena on the Xbox One. Yes, I know. This game is in like every bargain bin you can possibly find. I wasn't willing to pay 10 bucks for it brand new at Walmart, but for $5, I'm like, that's cheap enough. It looks fun. It's an online shooter where everybody has a rocket launcher. Apparently it didn't do that well because nobody's playing it or nobody bought it. But I only paid $5 for it and it is worth $7. So worth a little more than what I paid for it. So I'll take it. And then the other one, and this was the one that I was more excited about, not for the good reasons, I guess. We have the remake of 13 on the Xbox One. Now, I did try this for a little bit offline just because I wanted to see if they fixed it. This is going to be featured on our Let's Play Bad Games series. Let's just put it that way. If there was a patch, I couldn't tell what it was because it played real bad. So this is not a good game. I only paid $5 for it, essentially. It's worth $38. So this is actually a pretty expensive game. I guess they didn't print that many of them because it's kind of bombing. And that's one thing I have a feeling is going to happen is some of these newer gen games that are just flopping immediately are probably going to shoot up in price later down the road because people can't find them. And especially if they take off on YouTube or Twitch or something, I could see the value of this type of game skyrocketing, which is part of why I've actually been investing in several bad games lately. Also, I have a bad game series, so that helps too. But yeah, 13 on the Xbox One. I wish the original was backwards compatible because I would love to play that just to compare it to this one. Because the original, from what I remember, was actually pretty good. But whatever, this one's not very good. All right, now we're gonna go to the last couple pickups at GameStop. So I picked up a grand total of 6 games. 4 of them were pre-owned, 2 of them were new, although the 2 new ones certainly do not look new. But again, for the price I paid, even if it's not like brand spanking new, I'm not like that upset, I guess. So it is what it is. We have Bleeding Edge on the Xbox One. It's an online multiplayer game from Ninja Theory. I think that's the first game that they released under the Xbox Game Studios banner. I played a little bit of it. It's interesting. I think it would take some time to actually get pretty good with it. I didn't do very well. It kind of flopped, but I only paid $5 for it. It's worth $6. I was hoping it was sealed because this and the other game that I picked up, I would have kept sealed just because I have no need to play them physically because they're on Game Pass, but oh well. $5, it's worth $6. The other game, and I owned this game at one point, traded it in when it was worth a lot more and picked it up again for dirt cheap. Crackdown 3 on the Xbox One. This game's okay. It's definitely not as good as the original Crackdown. Honestly, no Crackdown game has been as good as the original Crackdown. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. I wish it was a lot better. I only paid $3 for a brand new copy of this, and it's worth 10. However, again, it was clearly a last copy because it was opened, it was not sealed, but you know, still, I paid $3. Even if this was a pre-owned copy, that's pretty good, but for a new copy, even if it's not sealed, that's still decent. So add Crackdown 3 back to the collection. Next up, we have the pre-owned games that I picked up of this bundle. I picked up a few of them, and the main thing is they were doing a buy two get one deal, so I picked up 3 games that were worth $10 each, and then on top of that I picked up a 4th one because I needed to make the total amount at least $35 so I could get free shipping. And I added another $10 game, which was Shadows Awakening, and that was discounted because of the other promo. So I essentially got 2 different promos on used games for this, which is why I got a pretty nice collection, I will say so myself, from this deal. So we have Frostpunk Console Edition. This looks like a strategy game. Looks interesting. I don't know much about it. I heard it's pretty good though. I only paid $10 technically for this, and it is worth 14. So again, worth more than what I paid, which is nice. Next up, the only generic case we got, honestly, out of the whole bundle, and I'm pretty happy with that. Usually it's a very, very mixed bag in terms of whether you will get a complete copy or a generic case, or sometimes not even that. I mean, I've gotten loose discs in a sleeve. I've gotten, all kinds of, I've gotten a blank case with nothing on it. So it really varies at GameStop what condition the game you're going to get in will be in, which is why I like to open them on camera so I can show you my initial reaction. But this one was the only generic case, and honestly, that's okay. It's an Xbox 360 game. We have Tales of Vesperia on the Xbox 360. This was free because it was the BOGO buy two get one free. So I didn't pay a dime for this, and it is worth $5. So it's not worth a lot, but I don't have it. It's nice to add some more JRPGs to the collection. All right, now we're going to talk about the stuff I picked up at Cash America, and I put away all the loose discs just because, again, I didn't want to pull them out. So I'm just going to list those off for you when we get to that point. So the first team games I picked up, I already traded in. Of course, those were Jedi Fallen Order and Forza Horizon 2. I also picked up a couple 360 games, and these had a bunch of bonus discs in them that I was not aware I had, but I mean, hey, I'll take bonus discs. So we're starting off with Deadpool on the Xbox 360. I owned this game at one point. I beat it shortly after it came out. I paid like $1 or $2 for it, so I'm like, that might be a game that eventually I'll want to go back and play. It does trade in at GameStop, interestingly enough. Not for a lot, but it does trade in, so if I really want to, I can trade it in. Obviously, if I happen to come across a copy of the Xbox One or PS4 version, I might do that. But I paid $2.50 for this, and it is worth $9, so I think that's pretty good. Plus, it had bonus games, and I'll get to those in a second. Then we have Splinter Cell Double Agent on the Xbox 360, another Splinter Cell game that I did not own. Apparently, I just didn't get the Splinter Cell games on 360. I own Blacklist, Double Agent, and Conviction. I didn't own any of those when they came out on 360. I do own the Splinter Cell original because it's with my Tom Clancy collection. So the only Splinter Cell game I don't own is Pandora Tomorrow on the original Xbox, so I'll have to track that one down and have a complete collection. But again, I figured, it's a Splinter Cell game. It's not complete, but the disc is in good shape and the case is in good shape. Paid $2.50 for it. It's worth $7. And then the bonus games, there were a total of 4 bonus games that were shoved into these cases. I mean, I'll take them. That's fine with me. Duck Dynasty on the Xbox 360 because I needed a 3rd copy of Duck Dynasty on a different platform. Paid nothing, it's worth $4. As a joke, I'm actually already listed a comedy game bundle on eBay, which is literally going to be all 3 copies of Duck Dynasty. I'm giving them a pretty good deal because they're actually worth a fair amount. No one's buying them individually, so I'm like, you know, if I bundle them all together, I'm sure somebody would get a kick out of. I just got 3 copies of Duck Dynasty on 3 different platforms, so maybe they'll find that funny. Then we have Super Street Fighter 4. That one I can show you because I have this lovely Connect Adventures case with it in it. Right there. Paid nothing, it's worth $8, so that one actually has a decent amount of value. Who knows if I'll keep it. I might try to include it on the Xbox 360 lot on eBay, who knows, but worth $8. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. That one actually has a decent amount of value. Paid nothing, it's worth $9. I already have a complete copy that I bought when it first came out, so I do not need the disc-only copy, so I'll try to flip that probably on eBay or with something. And then Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City on the Xbox 360, also free, worth $6. That one I'm probably going to flip because I do have the PS3 copy of that, and it's complete. So I'd rather have a complete copy in pretty good shape than a disc-only copy that I had to resurface. So there you go. But yeah, that's everything that I picked up this week. I think I did pretty well. There's a lot of value in the stuff that I picked up, and next week's going to be interesting because I was able to also get a number of games that are worth a lot more than what I'm ending up paying. Deals online at GameStop, as well as a couple new games that I'll be picking up on Friday when they come out, including Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. So some more awesome game hunting adventures are coming. I'm also going to do some more game hunting at pawn shops because that's what I do when I can. Gotta try to pay for those games somehow, so that's the best way to do it. Anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Bargain Game Hunter. Hope you enjoyed it. New videos of this series air on Mondays, and we have videos coming out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on this channel, as well as an occasional random bonus video. If you have not checked it out, a new series that I'm starting is I played every single game in a franchise until I was able to defeat an enemy, and I timed how long it took in each game. Started off with one that I figured would be fairly easy, and it was for the most part, and that is Doom. So if you want to see how long it takes to defeat an enemy in every single Doom game, check out that video on the channel. And I have plans to do other series like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or Halo. I'll get to them eventually. Those are going to take a lot more time, but I figured Doom was a good start since they're all on Game Pass, and Doom does not take particularly long to get to the killing, which is nice. So that's going to do it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of the Bargain Game Hunter. Bye-bye.